And Wilfred as well, just to interject, it was also very difficult, the kind of conversation
right,
you were having in the university within doing the PhD, because there was a point where
right,
things just got stuck.
right.
In terms of the supervisory kind of understanding of work.
Absolutely, because I was thrown out, during my PhD for about 4 or 5 years. Because my supervisor was not happy with the fact that I was working with a certain, I didn't plan to work with rural people, but they seemed to be the one who are receptive to his ideas. They seemed to be the one who are connected to the spirit of the land, the spirit of the water. So it was effortless, and that was the number one issue. The second issue is she wanted me to deal maybe the images that came out from there to be what it is. Sort of what I think should remind me of African poverty porn. Going to they just film them as they are, they look, very, destitute, poor people. I can do that, but they were not very receptive. They wanted to wear the mask. Because the moment they wear that mask, the moment they wear that masquerade, the moment they become a masquerade, they are transformed into something else. They embody the spirit of the land. So the mask here is the costume. The mask here is the makeup. The mask here is the headrest that reminds them of the cultural traditions. And that was very interesting. And you tell somebody, oh, you're going to be black, and you're going to wear this, and you're like, oh, hey, the spirit of my land. So you could feel that in them. You're kind of awakening, that lost, that suppressed, repressed voice, of their ancestors. So, it was quite interesting, and they were so fond of me. Like when we go, we will start drinking and dancing, and all that, and we start singing songs, like the songs our grandparents used to sing that everyone has forgotten, and they were like, "Wow, where are you from?" I can't tell them that I'm coming from Europe because they wouldn't believe me, And my parents used to ask me, "Look, you have a better life in Europe. What are you doing in the village?" And some people went as far as saying, okay, maybe the demons have called him back. They don't want him to progress. And some of my friends in Lagos asked me, look, you used to be a painter. Are you still practicing? Because you spend time in the village. Are you a social worker? I said, I'm both. Artist and social worker, if you will. But this is what came out from it. So that's the joining, Any other questions there?
Hi, thank you
Yeah.
for your discussion. My interest is in supply chains.
Right.
And whether it be from India, whether it be from Africa or South America, my interest is always where are things coming from, where are they coming to, where they're going back to.
Right.
And my question was, when the youth were seeing what you've displayed to us,
Right.
from a Western perspective, I know there's so many natural, healthy solutions
Right.
for the energy, for building materials, whatever the word searching is materials for,
Right.
which exist in Africa, for example, just look at that continent.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe only 1% of the solutions actually are given attention. So with this exhibition you've done, the youth you've engaged, they know the problems and can explain it to us, but has there been any venturing to, the youth, you see this, what do you want to see after this? What do you want to see out of, okay, the oil is maybe stripped away? How do we translate the solutions or the thoughts that the youth have to actually progress and bring forward the ideas out of Africa as well?
Right. This. Thank you for your question, first of all. But all these strategies, happen at different levels. My focus on this project was to see how I can empower, make them change agents of change, in telling their own stories, in being a part of this project, in transforming their own world, in building the impossible images or objects. And first of all, you have to give them education, isn't it? Because if you don't, I mean, when I was in Nigeria, I knew there was something wrong with, all pollution, but until I moved to Europe, until I moved to UK, that I could look back and see, because of the campaigns that were going on, in Europe at that time, about the issues that we're having. But it's very difficult for you to see that issue, you have to go to the villages where that are really, affected by this extractive capitalism, And so the first thing was to give them skills. Because sometimes I have to pay for their, I pay for their mini enterprise after they finish working with me because they need to move on. I've given them skills, so what's next? The government are not interested. So I have to give them money, some funds, to set them up. So I work with about 200 youth. So the first thing is to give them education. And that's my own, way of just that consciousness. First of all, is a consciousness that something is wrong. You can't keep on suffering and smiling, like Fela would say, in his music. But we have to change things. We have to have that consciousness that there is something wrong with our environment. And we have to be ready to tell the stories. And let me tell you something, when I went to the university, you've been to universities in Nigeria, the middle class mentality, in Lagos, And I remember telling young people that we have to do a film about, our environment. And I want to be an artist. I'm going to do this. It was all fun. So I realized that I think that's the cultural mentality, And so for me, the next step is this academy. Because what academy does is to educate people, is to give them that consciousness, to be equipped with a different mindset. And this is just the way forward. Because without that, nothing can happen. The government are not ready. They're not even interested in what I'm doing. So I think,